Hello and welcome back to another episode of our Rapid Chess Speedrun. We are rated 1483 playing against Bass 3721. So we have the white pieces. We're going to start with d4 and we'll go for c4 and we'll see if we get a standard Queen's Gambit declined or if our opponent chooses something else. Okay, we do get Queen's Gambit declined. I played knight f3 in this position. And often go for a Catalan. He actually decides to take right away, so I'm actually just going to play e4 and take control of the center. He does go for b5, so we immediately want to chip away at that. Okay, we're actually going into kind of a standard Queen's Gambit accepted structure, which is also fine. Okay, that's a bad move because, oh wait, actually that's not interesting because he already has the bishop opened up protecting that pawn. So actually I might just be doing not so good here. We'll see. I would like to win this pawn back. Normally the bishop doesn't protect, but I guess that's because he goes d5 immediately and doesn't start with this move e6. So actually an interesting move order. I'm going to have to study the theory a little bit here. He kind of tricked me a little bit, and I'm not doing terrible. I'm going to be able to take this pawn next move most likely, which will provide more coverage for my knight. I guess he does have this move right now, which might just pick up, well, it doesn't quite threaten to pick up my knight because the rook hangs. So, have to be careful here. Okay. I think I can take back. And now I can probably drop my queen back. And I think I'm doing fine. Yeah, now I think I'm in a good spot. My knight is protected by my bishop. And he doesn't have a great way to defend this pawn next move. This pawn's also hanging for what it's worth. He's going to try and cling onto this pawn. I can actually just take with the knight anyways. I can also take on a7. But I think I'll opt for taking this pawn. Now I'm doing very well. Evened up the pawn count. I'm ahead in development. More central control, pretty much just everything that I could want in this position. Okay, he is adding some pressure here. Let's defend with my bishop. I'm wondering which square I want it on. I think it's safer on d2, but on b2 it has prospect of the long diagonal. He goes here, brings his rook out. I think d2 is more solid. I'm going to go for b2 though. This also would have blocked the pin, that's why I think it's more solid, but I think this is also fine. He doesn't have a great way to add another attacker onto the c3 square. So next moves will probably be bishop d3 and castles, but we will obviously have to react to how our opponent plays. So he's taking a think here. Okay, he is not threatening that pawn because of a... Actually, this would be a very messy sequence. So if he takes, I take, he takes, I take, he takes, I move, he takes my rook, then I take his rook as well. And that just turns into something very messy. But I think I can avoid all of that by playing bishop to d3 first, which is the move I planned on playing anyways. And now he doesn't really have a way to hop in and put more pressure on my knight, which is ideally what he would like to do. Little bit of a thought exercise though, if you want to take it, is I think I am starting to regret putting my bishop on b2 instead of on c2. I don't think it's going to make a difference in this game, but if you were in my position, would you have put your bishop on d2 or on d2 or on b2? I think both are decent options, but I actually think the computer is going to prefer bishop to d2. So we'll check in the analysis after the game if that's the case. Actually, that was probably not the best move. I think it's good to get my king castled. I could have pushed here though, and immediately that would have opened up my bishop, and I would have been able to win the pawn on h7. So that's still a threat in the position. So there, he goes there. I guess I can just take at that point. So, yep, let's do that. I guess he could take first. No, he goes for this. Okay, he does end up trading the queens, but that's fine. I think I just have a much preferable position at this point. So these bishops are pretty good. Thinking through his next moves, he'll probably want to get his knight out. Not sure I have a good way to stop it, but let's bring my other rook into the game. And we're keeping a nice edge on the clock. That's uncommon if you've been following the speedrun. Normally I'm trailing on time. Partially just thinking through positions more, but also probably spending a little bit of time thinking. Don't think that's good. What if I pin his knight? Then he has to defend. Not sure I have a way to win material there, but that seems like a strong idea. So let's go for it. So he'll have to bring a rook. Okay, never mind. He just sacrifices his knight. He didn't have to do that. Let me just make sure there's no tactics I'm missing, because my bishop is protected. So yeah, both pawn takes and knight takes make sense. I'm going to go for knight takes here. And he trades the bishop. Okay, and he trades a pair of rooks, which I'm happy to trade. can bring my rook back, or I can just play. I'm just going to play h3 so I never have to worry about getting back rank checkmated. Actually, I might play this move. This guards against the back rank checkmate. Also maybe encourages him to move his bishop. Obviously I can't take because then I would get, well, the bishop actually also covers, so maybe I am threatening to take here. So if I take, this actually loses the game because then I'm going to lose my, well, actually, take. Yeah, I don't think it quite works, but my knight protects my bishop, so let's just go for this move. Give my king a little bit of breathing room. And we should be able to finish this game. It'll take probably 15 to 20 more moves just to trade down, promote the pawn, unless he blunders back rank checkmate. And this game should take us up to 1492, which means next game, if you tune in tomorrow, we will likely be playing for 1500 rated on Rapid, which would be pretty nice. Okay, he does that, which doesn't do a whole lot. My pieces are kind of tied up in a weird way. I probably want to I see now he's extra clamping down on that square. He does have my pieces tied up pretty good, so that's something. He doesn't really have a way to ever attack this knight though, or put more pressure on this piece. So I'm just gonna keep pushing forward. Don't need to solve all my problems right away. Let's just bring my king. I probably should get my rook around and into the game. Because with the bishop there, okay, I'm gonna bring my my rook back. I'm gonna try and just trade everything on c1 and just emerge up a piece with an easy win in the end game. Okay. Let's go here. If he goes there, I'm gonna have to go bring my rook to the b file, which is probably a better spot for it anyways. Okay, he does pick up that pawn. This is getting kind of annoying. So great defense from our opponent. Didn't even realize I was hanging a pawn there and trying to trade pieces off. He was able to avoid it. That's another great move. Let's go here. He'll probably play check. Then I'll go here. And he is low on time. I think I will ultimately end up winning this game on time. I could also block with my bishop. That would allow him to go there. I can defend with my rook. But I think I'd rather just go here. If he goes there, I guess that pawn falls if I move my knight. Unless I move my knight here. Which maybe I'll do. Okay, he goes the other direction though. So let's try and trade off the bishop. He can pin. But I can defend. Okay, instead he declines the trade that way. Okay, now I offer the trade of rooks again. If not, I seize the control of the c-file. And yep, he's gonna run out of time. I think I am still winning in this position, but been great defense by my opponent. Had my pieces tied up in kind of a weird way. Okay. That's a pretty good move. Let's go here. This knight's been just a very key defender in this position, been holding kind of everything together. He probably is at risk of losing that pawn if I can get my rook over to the a-file again. It's not going to matter. He does run out of time, so that will do it for the game. We'll do a quick review. That was a long one, went almost the full 20 minutes. And I'm mostly
Good job breaking through in the
opening,
endgame with
so
some strong
looks like we did
opening with the
outplay
queen's
him a little
pawn
bit
controls
there,
the center
but,
and usually leads
not
to a
such a
more
clean game.
e6 c4
So
d.
here,
You are bringing d
okay,
takes c4. This lets
all
your
normal
they
to
defended their
defeat the
pawn,
center.
which was under attack.
He defends.
Yes, this is defending their hang.
This is all best.
You permitted the opponent to pin a knight to the king.
And then, okay, this is where I went wrong with knight to b3, which is normal in the King's Indian opening when he doesn't have this move.
Their best option was to pin an
makes
attacker of a
mistake, and
vulnerable
that's a
pawn.
Big mistake. I wonder why.
You are losing material this way.
That's a blunder. What would have been... What's
This
the way to
avoids
punish
clear
this?
danger.
Okay, just jumping the knight in. I don't know why that's so bad. Is it just because he's going to lose this pawn? Let me play out that line for a second. Yeah, he goes a6, and then I guess I just go here, and that becomes unguardable. He can't take because of the pin along the A file. So
You're losing material.
Good to know. I played this move incorrectly.
They found a way to win material.
It's not so bad. The position's about equal.
Your piece. They missed.
The way I
Nice.
have to
Your better option was to create a pawn chain.
This is a mess. I could have.
This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. They're
also a viable option.
They are threatening to win. Your better option was
another miss because I guess I
now black can't stop white from winning a
maybe
pawn if they make the right moves.
Again.
You are now.
Definitely.
They've made a mistake, and you are threatening to tactically win a pawn.
I should have played e5.
Knight. You missed an opportunity to capture a correct move to get their knight out of harm's way.
There first, and then taken. That seems like a no-brainer.
Knight.
So.
A correct move. You
have done that.
This move doesn't hurt you.
All fine. Actually, it does say
that knight was yours for the taking. You are threatening to capture a knight and win material after the follow-up trades.
To defend his knight, just bring a rook over.
This move left their
that away,
well done. They are threatening to. You are threatening to capture a bishop and win material. They are threatening to.
You are threatening to play rather than creating a lift for my king. Just bring the king over his head. That makes sense. This is all fine.
They took your pawn. Nice. Your knight.
Still winning. Still doing great.
Their better move was to pin. You overlooked an opportunity to win a pawn through a fork. White will be winning a pawn with that fork.
That maybe just allowed.
They're better. You prevented your opponent from being able to win a pawn by overloading a defender.
Winning advantage, and he runs out of time. So, thanks for checking out this game with me, and see you next time.